secondary school students graduate into the end of life in the camps and not in the universities, then education loses its meaning. Consequently, some students start considering time taken in primary and secondary school as waste of valuable time. This self-questioning results in students dropping out of school, and also it causes challenges, especially when one tries to encourage girls to remain in school. In conclusion, there are 5 reasons why it is critical to advocate for university education for the refugee youth. The first emanates from the increased interest in education by the children. The children completing primary and secondary school have trained their focus on university education. This interest also partly comes from parents who want to invest in the young children. Parents have always stressed that they believe education is the only worthwhile item they can take away from the camps. The second reason is linked to development of human resources. The returnees from refugee camps will go back to their motherland with great hopes of rebuilding the collapsed economies and other infrastructure. In order to avoid a situation where such returnees may have to look back to foreigners to learn programs for them, it's absolutely necessary to give the young refugees every available opportunity to develop essential skills and knowledge. These young people will be the technocrats who will mold and lift their countries from the present day of destruction. But they cannot fulfill this fundamental law without strong academic background. The potential of university and college education cannot be overemphasized. Research has shown that 60 to 80% of development in developed countries can be indirectly attributed to the level of education. Similarly, highly educated refugee individuals have the potential to contribute positively to their country and by extension to the world. These intellectuals are the probable leaders of their countries who can bring lasting peace. If this happens, the dividends to the world is enormous. But they cannot do this if their abounding intellectualism is left to wither under the scorching sun and the hot suns of the camps. The third reason is the fact that Somalia and South Sudan have been at war for nearly 2 decades. For that period of time, there were barely any educational programs in the countries. The literacy level, which was as low as any other developing country at independence, has deteriorated throughout the last 2 decades. All generations of potential human resources have gone to waste. The fourth reason emanates from the increased interest of education by girls. Nearly 40% of the girls of school-going age are attending either primary or secondary school. This may be among the highest figure compared to many other African countries. We feel that this interest should not be limited to primary and secondary education, but extended to university education. There is no other better way to empowering women than ensuring access to higher education. If girls get good education, there are many gains. Among them include the reduction of child mortality and malnourishment, increased interest in girls of educated mothers, fewer children for educated mothers, minimized chances of dying at childbirth, and understanding of human rights, taking more active role in development and governance. The fifth reason is that education is a human right, and therefore the refugees also have a right to education. Over the last couple of years, the University of Guelph, through the personal interest and initiative of Professor Alistair and the SRP program, there has been a steady increase in admission to refugee students from Kenya, which is highly appreciated. This award is a recognition that there is need to do more for emerging young refugee intellectuals. And we want to believe the university can use its influence among its peers in Canada to encourage each university to commit to take at least one refugee student per year. I strongly believe the young refugee intellectuals would be useful to the universities, and they would also make a positive contribution to the world village. It is them that could bring stability to their countries. I challenge the University of Guelph to provide leadership by using the power of education to transform the world. The politicians have failed in 15 peace agreements. My assertion of the positive transformative power the universities could bring to the young scholars is not far-fetched. In 2008, during my monitoring trips in the refugee camps, I visited a class of 10-year-olds whose vision epitomizes the transformative power of education. They listed 6 reasons why they believe in education. And they told me education is key to the world, key to success, power from darkness to light. No education, no life. Knowledge that removes ignorance. Getting rid of ignorance to improve life. If these children cannot have opportunities to access higher education, and we want to believe the international community would be denying them justice. Many of them are born in the refugee camps. Their father and mother, the provider of livelihood and education, is the international community. If a child requests for fish, can we not give him? Thank you very much.